Moving on, our next speaker is the owner and co-founder of Architect Books and Workshops, a virtual assistant and freelancing coach, and now author of the Amazon best-selling book, The Freelancer's Bible for Pinoys. She is a teacher, mother, egalitarian, and God's faithful servant. Please welcome on stage, Robbie Lorenzo.
There you go. Let me start over. I am nobody. I am no one. This and all other forms of self-doubt are what every author hears in his head. I repeat, every author. You may or may not agree with me, but all authors experience feeling this and hearing these words. I am not worthy. My story isn't good enough. Why would anybody want to read my book? And this big fear, it has a name. It's called the Imposter Syndrome. I know because before publishing my book, I went through a heavy case of this syndrome. I almost never published my book. Let me tell you my story. When I was starting out with my book, I was super excited. I finished chapters upon chapters really fast. But around 60 to 70%, I found it harder and harder to finish my book. I found myself procrastinating and doing other important things just to put off writing. But I had a deadline. And soon, nearing my deadline, I was already getting stressed and worried and anxious and depressed. I was already having emotional outbursts and mental health issues. Just go ahead and ask my husband. Do you want to know why this happened to me? Ask me why. My fear was centered on two things. One, what if nobody bought the book? And two, what if they bought the book, they read it, and they hated it? These are the two biggest fears of every author. And you know the big thing that happens to people because of the syndrome? It prevents you from sharing your message. Did you know that a lot of authors, or a lot of people, never become authors because of this syndrome, because of this silent syndrome? So, what did I do? How did I overcome this syndrome? I did 5 things. First is I reached out to other authors and shared my fears. In the 90-day book writing challenge and with other authors, I asked them, did you ever have this fear? And you know what they said? They said all the time, with every book, no one is exempted. And I said to myself, if they were afraid and they were able to do it, maybe I can too. And second is I stopped aiming for perfection and celebrated progress. The first print of my book had a lot of errors, and I didn't really like the binding either. But on the second print, I learned from my mistakes, and I corrected all of the errors, and now, third print, fourth print, I'm quite happy with my book now. And then third is I did it afraid. We're all afraid of failure. And I was so afraid of exerting so much effort and then being told that it's all for nothing. But I really had to face my fears and continue if I were to finish my book. And then fourth, I gave myself the credit that I deserve. I had a message. I knew I did. And I was going to write a book and share that message, even if it blesses only one person. And fifth, this is the most important. I just kept praying. Lord, please make this fear go away. Please be with me. And you know what? When I had my first book launch, when I attended the Manila International Book Fair, and when I had speaking engagements, and when I told people, hey, I wrote a book, it's about freelancing and how one can start working at home, they bought my book. And it even became number 1 in Amazon. It became number 1 Amazon bestseller. Thank you. And people who bought the book sent me messages saying, hey, I love your book. I was blessed. Thank you for writing your book. Right now, I'm still a nobody. But now, I am a nobody who wrote a book and got published. And I was only able to do it by facing my fears and accepting that it won't go away. Final note, face your fears and start writing. My name is Robbie Lorenzo, best-selling author of The Freelancer's Bible for Pinoys. Thank you and God bless.